we have been informed that the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, apparently in furtherance of the plots to rig the presidential election, has appointed Mrs. Amina Zakari, a blood relation of the APC candidate, President Muhammadu Buhari, as the chairman of INEC's Advisory Committee and Collation Center Committee for the presidential election. By our own understanding, to be chairman of Advisory Committee and to also be at the apex of the Collation Center Committee has given Mrs. Amina Zakari the responsibility to announce whatever he wishes for President Buhari, whatever she wishes for President Buhari. The People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Organization outrightly, vehemently, and unequivocally rejects in its entirety the appointment of Mrs. Amina Zakari, President Buhari's blood relation, as the head of coalition in the same election in which President Buhari, as a candidate, has displayed a huge desperation to win at all costs.
All right, so to delve into this, we've got Aliyu Abdullahi, who is the Deputy Director, Media and Strategic Communication for the Buhari Presidential Campaign Council. He joins us from our studio in Abuja. We also do have right beside him, Kazima Fegba, who is a spokesperson for PDP Presidential Campaign Council. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today on the program. I'm going to start with...
thank you.
Yeah, so now this appointment by INEC, the PDP has raised some objections to all of this, and I'm sure, Ali, you might have heard the objections that the PDP raised on this matter yesterday. What's your impression of what PDP has said of this?
Well, actually, to just get into it, I believe that the PDP are crying wolf, are trying to misinform Nigeria to start with, because Amina Zakari is not a blood relation of President Muhammad Buhari. President Muhammad Buhari is from Daura in Katsina State. Amina Zakari is from Jigawa State. I would like to see here how PDP will establish the fact that Amina Zakari is a blood relation to the president. That's one. Secondly, this is a woman that was actually appointed as the National Commissioner of the INEC by the previous administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan since 2011. Prior to that, she has worked in the commission. And I want to believe her being, chairman of this coalition committee doesn't have to even be with the issue of announcing results or even accepting or collecting the results from the returning officers. The chairman of the INEC is by law the right person, the authorized person to announce results, and he would not abdicate his responsibility. What Amina's role seems to be, to my own understanding, is purely an administrative and logistic support, and that may be informed by her experience. She is the longest serving commissioner among this set of commissioners. She has witnessed the last election as a national commissioner, and she is in charge of welfare. So naturally, setting up the venue, administration, support, of the collection center will be in her domain. So in any case, should anyone be close to anybody not be able to function in any capacity as a public officer in Nigeria, what I think PDP or anybody should be concerned about is the strengthening of an institution that is supposed to be an independent one. How do we strengthen our institution so that individuals will not even be considered to apply any of their whims and caprices? And that is what we should do here. But to come to Nigerians with, let me say, half-truths or lies and said that she is going to announce results that she wishes, that does not do justice to the commission. That does not do justice to the INEC chairman, who I don't believe will ever abdicate his responsibilities. That does not do justice to also the country, because they are giving us, they are actually putting us in bad light to the international community, to other people who are watching what is happening this time around. And this is really bad for our democracy. I expected more from PDP.
All right, let's get to hear Mr. Kazim Afregba's response to this. Kazim?
Well, thank you very much, Chamberlain. Listening to Aliyu, he seems to be the publicity secretary of INEC. From the way he spoke now, you could know from the onset that he has even internal information within INEC which are not available to us at PDP and also to the public. The announcement made by INEC was purely that this woman will be chairman of coalition center of the presidential election. Whatever be the core functions and responsibility of that position were not stated in the release we saw. But Aliyu, as a spokesman of INEC, has just told us what that responsibility entails. Whether you like it or not, we have a history of Amina's engagement in INEC. It's been a subject of public criticism for quite some time now. We've seen her roles in previous elections. And so, to that extent, somebody who is being accused of being partisan in the way and manner she's been conducting herself within the INEC and her responsibility. Someone cannot just come here now and rub off that as if nothing is happening, whether we like it or not. When she was acting chairman of INEC, there were a lot of public outcry, concerning her role and because of her relationship with the president. And if you say somebody is from Jigawa and one person is from Daura, when you say somebody is a niece, that means maybe the mom is a sister to President Buhari, and so this is a daughter of the mom of who is a sister to Buhari. And so she could marry anywhere. She could marry from Jigawa. She could marry from any other place. It's not an issue. But what is at issue is the fact that, you see, INEC must, as a matter of responsibility, allow the process to be seen to be transparent, to be devoid of any partisan inclinations, to the extent that the participants in the electoral process will see that INEC is fair enough in the way and manner they deploy staff, whether ad hoc or permanent, in the process of conducting elections. Because the beauty of elections, and the transparency of it for that matter, is the fact that people who are participants should naturally own it and buy into your own decisions, policy framework, and what have you, so that in the final analysis, they will say, yes, given a level playing field in the respective aspects of the elections, INEC has been able to live up to its bidding. But in this case, we are not seeing that kind of scenario. That is why I'm wondering that Aliyu, just to confirm our fears, is giving us the internal dynamics of the responsibility of Amina Zakari. I don't have that kind of internal knowledge.
Mr. Aliyu, well, Mr. Afregba has just lined out some of the concerns that many had, especially when Ms. Zakari was acting chairman of the commission. A lot of people spoke about the fact that her relationship with the president and all of that. Yet you say it's not something to be worried about. It's not just the PDP that are reacting here. Several other individuals and parties are reacting to this appointment. You think it's not worth worrying about?
Thank you, Nyote. I don't think it's worth worrying about, and I don't actually believe, I'm yet to be convinced that Amina Zakari is the blood relation of the president. I still maintain that was a total fabrication from the opposition, from the PDP. They are used to that, like, towing that kind of line. She is not, I repeat, she's not a niece. Categorically clear that she's not a niece to President Muhammad Buhari. But let's even put that aside. How many commissioners are in that INEC that if you, for example, will do a sampling, you may have that they may likely be predisposed to other candidates. That's okay. But the issue here is about the institution, the independency of the commission. And let me respond a little bit quickly to what my friend Kasim said about I knowing the internal workings of INEC or this thing. You will also know, Kasim, if you just do a little bit of research and find out what does it entail for that chairman of the collation center, what will be the functions of that. You will have known, actually. Nobody told me. I just knew. So, and again, Nate, back to your question, I don't think it's a source of concern. And this is why. When the returning officers, who are normally reputable vice chancellors and academics from universities, return with the results, these results are always known from the polling units. And when they come back to the collation center here at ICC, these events are normally televised live. How can someone, I repeat, even the INEC chairman cannot be able to change anything that a returning officer came back with, which the party, its agent from the polling unit, from the National Collation Center are live there? I wonder what someone can do. So please, I beg Nigerians and also the opposition. I know because they are opposition party, they have to cry, they have to try to discredit a system that is working so far. But let us be patriotic enough to actually reason with people with senses. That is what I'm calling the opposition to do. It's impossible for even the chairman who will announce the result to tweak or change anything that a returning officer came back with a representative of all parties there, sitting down there, and also knowing that the results from polling units were already known